YouTube. Excuse me, Sir Williams here. I want to do a quick video. It's in response to a YouTube user. He goes by the username Warning the People. I was actually watching this the other day, and the title of the video, what struck me was the title of his video is Question for Liars Who Say Jesus Isn't God. So I watched the video. It was a short video, and I just like to address it. I mean, he did say question for people who say Jesus is God, so I guess I'm one of those liars. And also, I am not making this video to start some YouTube war with an individual. That is not my aim. I honestly just want to answer the guy's questions. And actually, I would like to ask him a question as well. He may or may not see my response video, but I would like to ask him a question as well. But anyway, I'll play the video so you can hear it. It's not very long. Like I said, it's only 1 minute and 13 seconds, so I definitely got to the point very quickly in his video. But anyway, let me begin the video. Here we go.
The question that I have for those hypocrites who say they are Christians but do not believe that Jesus is God. Here is the question. Who do you say that the Son of Man is? Is the Son of Man deity, or is he not deity? If you say that the Son of Man is deity, then you have just proclaimed that Jesus is God. And if you do not worship him as God, then you are a hypocrite, and you will be cast into hell.
Okay, I'll stop right there. His first part, or the first thing he asked was, he said, if I say that he's deity, then I am to worship him as God. If not, I'll be cast into hell. Well, here's the deal. I think he's misunderstanding worship. I mean, we talk about, or I've seen other people talk about this. I've actually researched it myself, and I've come to a very definite conclusion on this word worship in the English Bibles. I'll just be to the point. There's a Greek word that's used in reference to Jesus in his worship. That same word was used many, many times for men in the Bible. They were also worshipped too, but it got translated as bow down in reference to a man, and it got translated as worship when it was in reference to Jesus, which I can understand. It causes understandable confusion amongst people who are reading these English translations. However, there's a Greek word used in reference to God. I believe it's pronounced latreo. I could be mispronouncing that, but it basically means to serve, and that is never used in reference to a man, Yeshua, an angel, whoever. It is never used. It's only used in reference to Yahweh or God. A man can be bowed down to. Okay, it's just biblical. You can't make a biblical argument on that. King David was worshipped. So based on that Greek word, if you take the Greek Septuagint, for example, and go into the Old Testament and read that, it'll plainly show you that men were that same word that was used in reference to Jesus was used in reference to men. So I think he's misunderstanding this whole worship idea. I think it might be throwing him off. It's just a guess. I've never actually spoken to the guy. I don't know. And so, yes, I do worship, okay, in that way of what the Bible speaks. But what I'm saying is I honor Jesus the same way that King David was honored. There's no difference. But I serve one God, and that's Yahweh. So I think he's misunderstanding that. So first, let me say this to the guy warning the people. I do not say that he's deity. He's not deity at all. All right, which will take us into part 2 of his question.
But if you say that Jesus is not deity, then you make him to be a creature, something that has not always existed.
So there it is again. He said, if you make Jesus, or if you say Jesus is not deity, or if you say Yeshua is not deity, then you make him a creature. And I can tell from the way he posed the question that his mindset or precept is based on the notion that only God can be worshipped. But here again, it's like I just said before, I believe that he needs to do a little bit more research or understanding of his English translation and realize that he's reading something that's quite misleading him. You can honor a man, especially the Messiah, especially the King of Israel, the anointed one, the chosen one, the Savior. I mean, for goodness sakes, if David can be bowed down to, certainly Christ can be bowed down to. But you do not serve Yeshua. They did not serve King David, okay? You serve Yahweh. You don't serve other gods, which is something that he many times said. Do not serve other gods. So I think he's caught up in translation. Worship is a made-up English word. It didn't even exist until 1300 CE. And so when the translators translated the Bible, they decided that they would use that word in reference to Yeshua in the same way it was referenced to Yahweh. But when it was a man, it got translated as bow down. And it just caused much confusion. It confused me, so I understand it. I'm not saying that people are stupid because they come to these conclusions. I get it. I fell for it. Like I said, but I just had to do my homework, I guess you would say. So there is no problem with honoring or worshiping, okay, a created thing, especially when God told you to. All right, and that's my take on it. He told you to. So that does not make me a hypocrite. And I just want to say to warn the people, I serve one God. I do not serve Jesus. I honor him. I worship him. And when I say worship, I'm not talking about the way Christianity commonly understands it. I'm saying that word because that's the word that was translated in the Bible. But I know that the Greek word that's used in reference to that is different than the Greek word that was used in reference to God. You shall serve your God only. Anyway.
Who do you say that Jesus is? Is the Son of Man deity, or is he not deity? May the grace of Jesus be with you.
All right, and that concluded his video. So it's like I said, just in conclusion, I say that Jesus is not deity. He did not pre-exist his birth. He is a man just like the person who made this video. And he was given all power and authority because he was perfect, because he lived a sinless life, which is quite an accomplishment. He did die to atone for the sins of the world. He is the Messiah. He is the chosen one. He is the one that was prophesied. That is who I say the Son of Man is, okay? He is the appointed king from Yahweh. That's who he is. And I would like to end this video by warning the people a question. I did watch some of your other videos, and it from what I can understand, you do use, in a lot of your videos, your big proof text is, I and the Father are one. All right, so if you're going to term that to mean that Jesus is God, and I did kind of gather that it seems like you kind of fall into the Trinity doctrine. I'm not necessarily going to call you a Trinitarian, but just going off what you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, you are professing to be a Trinitarian. You might not call yourself that, but you seem to be in line with what they understand. And if that's the case, I'm just going to ask you a question. Abraham, Moses, Jacob, Isaac, Jeremiah, if you could speak to any of these guys, would they tell you that they share your faith? Would they tell you that they believe the same thing about God that you do? Would they tell you that they believed in the Trinity? These are men that lived prior to Christ. God revealed himself to be a certain thing to them. This is a historical understanding. This is not an interpretation of the Bible. I've said that in some of my other videos. So my question to you would be simple. Did Moses share your belief? Or are you believing something different than what Moses understood? Shalom to everyone that watched the video. Peace.